So I'd like to welcome everybody out to our online essential oil class, weekly online essential oil class. The essential oil we're talking about tonight is myrrh.
So, do you guys have any stories or experiences about myrrh that you want to share? Have you used myrrh before? Anybody?
Nope.
No?
Jade.
Hi, Peaches.
Hello. I just would like to say I use myrrh concerning like the thyroid along with some lemongrass, and it really helped because when I went to get my physical done, they had they said my thyroid was normal, was a little like sluggish prior to. And, when I go for my physical every year, but I have used that concerning my thyroid, myrrh and lemongrass. I made a formula one night in the class, and I had success with that. And I could tell it was working because I was quite sweating a bit. And I normally don't. So when I was at work, I found myself getting hot and sweating. So I know that, my thyroid was kicking in and things were working up to par. And the final measure of that is when I went to have my physical done. So as far as that, yes, I have used myrrh in conjunction with lemongrass because that was the formula they said is good to, help the thyroid support.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Yes, it's great for that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a gem. It's a treasure, actually. But it doesn't have like a very powerful smell. So it just kind of smells like dirt as well. To me, it sort of smells like that. You don't hear much about it, but yeah, it does a lot of things actually. Anybody else? No? Is this going to be a new oil for you then? Yeah, and I think this is kind of up there in the high price range. But it's a fantastic oil to have around. I've used it for all sorts of things. It's sort of like a frankincense friend. So I do a lot of similar things, but it does other things too. Okay.
Like the mother of oil and the king of oil.
Mother of oil and the father of oils. Yeah, the king of oils. Yep. Yeah. So a summary here of what myrrh can do. It's great for fine lines and dry skin. Okay? It helps with rejuvenating tissues. And now think about it. You can do it on the inside and the outside of you too. So tissues on the inside of our bodies. But most of all, people use it on the outside for all of those wrinkles and blemishes and things on the outside. So that's why it's in our Immortel. And whenever I have any skin concerns, like a burn that I don't want to scar, I use the myrrh in with my blends. So that's great for dry skin. It's great for the mouth, for gum, for breath, and you can use it as a rinse. Okay. Now, just exactly like, hi, Tosh, just like, who was it here? Peaches there? I can't see her anymore. Yeah. Peaches, like she said, it's great for thyroid. So in this post, I just put down balancing your endocrine system. The thyroid is part of your endocrine system. All right, fantastic for your immune system. They have a lot of ancient documents that have myrrh in there, a lot of uses for myrrh, okay? It's very calming, it's great for meditation, and it's been used for childbirth and midwifery a lot. So this is one of those oils that we can keep in our little kit for babies and mamas. So it's the oil of Mother Earth, as I said earlier, and it helps emotionally with maternal connection and feeling nourishment. Okay, so that's myrrh. Anyone want to add to it, comment, questions?
I used it a long time ago. I just don't remember why I was using it. It was a long time ago, but I have a question. A couple of times recently, I went to try to add it to like a blend, and I don't know if this is normal, but like the top of it was like, I don't know. Yeah, it's like crusty, like maybe it's calciforming again, like you know what I'm calciforming. So I was like, should you do anything to that? Like, should you do anything to it? Okay. I just want to ask.
Yeah, I was going to get to there. I didn't even write it in my post here. But just like the frankincense, myrrh is a darker resin than the frankincense. So you know resins, it dries. And
Right.
it dries, it hardens, so it looks like it's crystallized. So sometimes your lids get stuck, your lid. So I just, normally when I get a bottle, I pour out maybe a little bit, maybe a quarter or a fifth, and then fill up the rest with fractionated coconut oil just to dilute it a little bit. It's still very strong anyways, so even if you dilute it a little bit, it doesn't make it less powerful. But the thing is, it doesn't harden and crystallize like that so much. So I learned my lesson, because sometimes my little mini bottles, it hardens and I can't open it, and then I have to soak it in warm water for a while until it loosens. So that and vetiver are those oils that kind of harden. We have a question here. Emma?
Yes, so whenever you dilute it with the coconut oil, is that whenever you want to like apply it topically, like if you would want to use it for like dry skin or fine lines? Is that when you would want to dilute it like that? With the
Yeah, you can do it that way as well. Okay, but even if you dilute it and you take it internally, it's still fine.
Okay. Yeah, I was wondering if it was used topically and internally like that.
Yeah, one time I felt very unwell, and I just felt like I needed frankincense and myrrh. And it's really interesting. I just put that in a capsule and I took it. And then I went to my friend just to double check and make sure I'm still good. And then she muscle tested and she came up with frankincense and myrrh as well. So I thought, good, I'm doing right. So yeah, sometimes it's on guard and other times it's like something else that your body needs and you're not quite sure. So I found that it's very effective in that way. So guys, don't be confused and saying, you know, this oil does this and that oil does that and that's it. Because sometimes you need to switch around, and whatever you feel inspired to use, you can use it. The oils have a lot of abilities, and sometimes you need, you know, the what is it? I have to say politely, the environmental, protection of one oil versus the other one, right? Because the concerning side is different. So.
Myrrh's a neat oil, so you don't need to dilute it to apply topically or anything like that.
Yeah, I like it just a little bit diluted, just to keep it on the surface. So anytime we put oils on us and we want to keep it on the surface longer, we dilute it so it holds the oils there. But that's what they taught us at convention. And like Ben said, it's such a gentle oil, you can put it straight on. And I've got lots of experience where I just put it straight on, especially for newborns. So, yeah, okay, well, let's move down here. In the past, it's been used for perfumes, and even in biblical times, it's been used as a perfume. So I've got a few scriptures here for you, Bible readers. Proverbs 7:17, it says, I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Believe it or not, it was very popular to help newlyweds be more familiar with each other. So during that time, this is a very good oil to relax and calm and help people feel happy. Yep.
Jump on our video into Debbie by Saturday.
Okay, so Tash, do you want to say something? Hello. You're like happy. I won't be happy. Yeah. Okay, so some other scriptures here you can look it up, but it was the oil that was given to baby Jesus. Okay, and then it's also mentioned as a beautification and a cleansing oil for Queen Esther. And in that scripture, she mentions that it took 6 months to cleanse, and it seems like she cleansed from the inside and out. So anytime we do oils, we heal on those levels, okay, the mind, body, spirit level. So you never just do one. All right, so we'll just scroll up here. And you guys can look at the other scriptures if you want. I just posted a whole bunch. But the Egyptians, they've used myrrh for its embalming and preserving qualities. Okay, and it's great for spiritual enhancement, so more clarity. So imagine rubbing that on your face, keeping this face for longer. That's great. So that's what they do, and it's fantastic. I mean, you look at those mummies, they've soaked those mummies in the oil for about 6 months when they embalm them. So imagine having a bath of essential oils for 6 months. So it's going to get into your cells and get into every part of you. And these mummies, all the details are still on their skin and their body, the hairs, the wrinkles. It's amazing. After this many years, it's still preserved so well. So like the frankincense, it's grown in like arid environment, and it's still strong, right? But the thing is, this tree oozes out a slightly darker resin. And there's one point where it was more expensive than the frankincense, and they actually traded it for its own weight in gold. So it was a commodity that was very valuable. So using myrrh helps enhance frankincense, right? And it's used for beautification, like I said, used in childbirth, and used in perfumes. Okay. So let's go to the body and what you can do with the body. So for newborns, this is one of the most important things that I use the myrrh oil for. So it's for the umbilical cord care. Anybody that knows me, if you get me started, I love talking about births. If you can be there at the birth and help out. After the umbilical cord is clamped, you can put a drop or two of myrrh oil on that stump, and then that oil will travel into the baby's body and protect the baby. Okay, and it protects the stump from environmental threats. Okay, so that's really important. So both my nieces, when they were born, I was there and I was able to give them the oils to protect them. And myrrh helps them connect to Mother Earth and Earthly Mother. So this newborn baby gets this connection right away. We put frankincense on the baby's crown and myrrh on the umbilical cord stump, and then a little bit of balance oil on the baby's feet. So frankincense connect to Father, God as well, myrrh, Mother Earth, and then the balance to help the baby be grounded and present. And it's a wonderful ceremony, I guess. My friends call it anointing. Doesn't matter. It's still wonderful. Helps the baby just feel that love and protection, and very first moment that she or he is born. So that's very special. I have some information about pregnancies, birth, and babies here. So I put a link on my post for those who have friends that want to have a more natural birth. And oh yeah, thank you, Ben. So Ben just clicked on that, and so that link will take you to my ebook here, and that yeah, and then we have a video that talks about the ebook and just little tips and things to use. And that's very it's very cool to have an information place that you can get information like that. With my family, I felt like that was very important, and I wish I had that knowledge when I had my kids. So yeah, that's why I wanted everyone to have it, and all that research. Alrighty, so that's helping babies. Any questions? Comments? All right, and this is the mom. This here I get to do a lot more because I have a lot of mothers, young mothers that just had babies, and I just before when they have baby showers, before they give birth, I give them a bottle, and so I mix a quarter of that bottle with the Immortelle. So it has myrrh in it. If you don't have Immortelle, you can use myrrh. But Immortelle has rose and helichrysum and other oils that it's really fun to help with the skin. So I put a quarter of essential oils and then fill up the rest of the 15 ml spray bottle. So these bottles, save them, wash them out and save them, and just buy a nozzle, okay? And the nozzles, they're like 50 cents. You can buy a pack of 6 and just attach it to that. But fill up the rest with fractionated coconut oil, shake it up, and then she can spray it and care for that perineum area. Spray it before, a couple of days before, a couple of weeks before the birth to protect, to clean that area so there's less risk of stretching, of like tearing when it stretches, and then afterwards to help with repair. So my little sissy did that, and we had no tears to sew up. So that was awesome compared to me, and you know, we're super happy that we're able to do that for her. So something that's powerful yet very natural. Okay, so that's for the mama. Any questions? Comments? Tash, you gonna do that? Yeah. Now that you have oils, yay. Yep, I'm glad you're on this call. Okay, moving on. So for bad breath, gum concerns, and you know, anything to do in the mouth, it's a wonderful cleanser. Like I said, it cleanses, but it also helps with tissues. So it does both. So here's a blend for you. 4 drops of myrrh, 2 drops of lemon, and 2 drops of peppermint. And you can do that with water, swish around for a minute or 2, or add it to coconut oil and do an oil pulling. Oil pulling is just when you hold a spoonful of virgin coconut oil in your mouth with other oils, and it kind of draws out impurities, toxins, and then you spit it out. But make sure you spit it out in the toilet or something, not in your sink. Okay, so that's oil pulling. I had a lady that did oil pulling every single day for 4 months, and she had a cavity she had to come back and fill, and by the time she got back, the dentist, he couldn't find the cavity. And I was like, that's amazing, that's extraordinary. What oils did you use? She said, every oil that was good for the gum. So she just interchanged the different oils every day, but for 4 months. And that was wonderful because they had the x-ray to show where the cavity was, and they couldn't find it. So she went home without this filling. So that's amazing. So you guys let me know if you have that same experience too, okay? Alrighty, any questions, comments? Okay, let's move on. So the groin area skincare. So we've got some concerns there. It depends on what's, you know, how the skin is. So you can do 4 drops of myrrh, coriander, 4 drops, mix it together. You can mix it with fractionated coconut oil if you like. And like I said, put in a spritzer bottle and spray that area, and do it regularly, at least 3 times a day. Because, you know, the oils, they don't last in your system for long. So, you know, your body's going to metabolize it, and then, you know, it'll be eliminated. So you want to keep reapplying. So that is for that area for care. Okay. And now when there's groin itch, there's, you know, you can make a mix of myrrh, 2 drops, thyme, 3 drops, melaleuca, 3 drops, and mix that with fractionated coconut oil. And again, you know, put that on that location. If you can spray it on without having to touch it, that's better in my opinion. So yeah, save those bottles, guys. Alrighty, and then here's a bath blend. Okay, so always Epsom salt. I love it. I buy a big bag of it because, you know, water drives the oils in deeper. And if it's something that is bothering you, you can put the oils on you, and then half a cup of Epsom salt in the warm bath water, and then you can sit there and soak, and the Epsom salt and the warm water will help drive the oils in deeper. So this bath blend, the groin bath blend, it's 2 drops of myrrh, 3 drops of patchouli, 2 drops of wild orange. Okay, so you can put that on, and then you can soak for at least 10 minutes and then pat dry. Okay, so, you know, the sportsmen, sometimes they get irritated and itchy in that area. That's something for them to, it's not pleasant, but have to be, you know, taken care of. Okay, questions? No comments? Hope it's helping. Alrighty, so congestion of the chest. This is another thing you want to do. There's several, guys, but it's good to approach a concern in several different ways. So when I first started, I struggled with asthma and other breathing problems, and I used, you know, different blends and things, and I just kind of took a different approach to it, and you know, whichever one it is, it could be the combination. It kind of helped me clear up and help me with my allergies and my asthma and everything. So I have just such a clearer airways, no sinus problems anymore. So it's wonderful. Okay, so try this, guys. 4 drops of myrrh, 3 drops of eucalyptus, 3 drops of lemon, 2 drops of basil, and 1 drop of thyme. These are really, really powerful oils, and this blend is awesome. So if you mix that together and gently apply it on your sternum in an upward motion, and then of course drink lots of water, and no dairy for a little while, and you know, or citrus juices for about 2 days until that phlegm and mucus goes away. Okay, and that will help shift things out. Met a few people lately that have that heavy chest and that stuffy, snotty throat. Yeah, sometimes I really want to throw oils at them. I'm like, here, I'll help. So, but, you know, be respectful. All right, any questions or comments? What do you think, guys? Hopefully that's helpful. Okay, there's a lot that you can do with myrrh, so I'm going to just keep going here. So athlete's feet care. So myrrh on the bottom of the feet nightly. Wear cotton socks because the warmth will drive the oils in, right? And allow the feet to air out after you shower in the morning. And then apply myrrh and lemon during the daytime. Okay, that should help with that. Okay, so we talked about thyroid a little bit earlier, but this is sort of the more balancing as well, but it's for the ovaries. Ovary support and balance. Balance is in hormone balancing too. Remember, it's a friend to frankincense. So little things that are just malfunctioning in that area, it'll encourage it to come back to where it should be. So Dr. Susan Lawton, if you ever get a chance to talk to her, she's very bold in what she says about what the oils can do. But she says that your cells and your DNA know what it's doing. You just need to give it a chance to do it. And one way to do it is to introduce essential oils, help it clear debris, and then it'll just come back to how it was, even if you were born with a certain condition, she said. So I trust her, and I've applied all that, and it's true, very true. She's used essential oils in her practice for over 40 years, and she's still using it in her practice. And she's got a ton of experience there. So that's an awesome way to think about it. So if some people say, oh, I've got these problems in my ovaries, for example, for life, maybe not. Yep. Okay, maybe we can help it along somehow. Okay, to remember how it should be. Okay. So myrrh, patchouli, marjoram, equal portions. Rub it over your Vita Flex. It's the reflex points on the ankles and the bottom of your feet, the lower abs, and do this several times a day for about 60 days, right? And when pregnant, and you can do it after your birth as well. Okay, just to help things go back to how it should be. Because sometimes giving birth is a little bit traumatic for your body, a little bit. And this helps things go back to where it should be. Yeah? Alrighty. Okay. Skin and youth restored. So 3 drops of myrrh, 2 drops of sandalwood, 2 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of geranium, and 2 drops of lavender. Now, this is actually almost the blend for Immortelle. Immortelle has 2 more oils, the helichrysum and the rose, added to this blend. But pretty much this is it. So you can use that to soften and smooth out your skin. If you have dry, trapped skin, you could do this blend too, especially when it's winter time. It's not so much for us here in Florida, but I know a lot of people that are in certain places where it snows and stuff, where it's dry. So this might be a blend you want to try. Okay. And the last one here is travel mix for new foods, just to help your stomach kind of enjoy the exotic foods when you travel without giving you a hard time. 3 drops of myrrh, 2 drops of fennel, 1 drop of peppermint, and just that ratio. You can multiply it if you want, and rub it on the bottom of your feet. In the evening you can drink it if you want to, up to you, but it'll help your stomach be friendly with the local foods, I guess. Okay, there's a lot of research with myrrh. I just thought I'll keep it simple and give you what I find is sort of interesting. There's other things that are already out there that people use it a lot for. Any comments or questions? You guys gonna try myrrh? Okay, Let's go to the mind.
My bottle gets here hopefully by Friday.
Yummy! Yay! You like it. It has an earthy smell to it. So if you compare it to frankincense, I think smells a little bit better. This one is a little bit more bitter in a little way. Not so bad, but yeah. And the oil is darker in color too. You like it. Okay, so like I said earlier, myrrh is the oil of Mother Earth. And it helps with the emotions of disrupted maternal connection, distrusting, neglected, unsafe in the world, and malnourished. And the positive emotions that it helps us have is safe in the world, feeling healthy, having healthy attachments, trusting, bonding, maternal connection, nurtured, loved, secure, and grounded. So I meet a few people, then I do energy healing for them. And when they didn't have a great relationship with their mother, or a very deep, loving relationship, if sometimes people have a shallow relationship, no troubles, but not deep. That's how they approach the world. So sometimes people feel very unsafe, and they just have a belief that the world is dangerous, and that they look at the world in that way, from that perspective, and they find all sorts of evidence to support that belief, and therefore they hold on to that belief. And unfortunately, if you have that perspective, that's all you're going to find, and that's what you're going to continue attracting. So sometimes just smelling the myrrh oil and telling yourself that you're protected, you're loved, you're nurtured, it helps your body absorb more nutrients. It helps you allow in more money, more time, more friends, and things like that. That, if you think Mother Earth provides, like a tree, it gives every year the fruit. It's sort of like that. Sometimes we think that we have to do everything and earn everything. This oil invites us to feel like you can receive, and you can allow yourself to be nurtured like a child. Okay. So the next thing here is a relief of oppressive over-attachment. Okay. And that's 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, myrrh 2 drops, frankincense 2 drops, cypress 2 drops, and gently blend it together and apply it to the bones behind the ears. Rub together and inhale, and then just choose to feel good. Okay, and choose to think good thoughts, that the world is safe, that you're healthy, that you can form good bonds with people without being disappointed. Nurtured is a big thing, because when we don't feel loved and protected, sometimes we don't feed ourselves well. We don't know why, but we eat junk food, and and you don't have a craving for good, healthy, nourishing foods. And allowing yourself to be loved. So my mum is a very good example of myrrh, because her family was poor. Her mum loved her dearly, and whenever they're together, they're very close and very loving. But she had to work a lot, and so she had to be gone a lot away from her mum. But she said to me that the world takes care of her like her mum does. So everywhere she goes, she meets people that sort of adopt her as their daughter or their friend, and they provide for her. So I noticed that when we were in the refugee camp and other places where people kind of step in and give her stuff, take care of her. Now that she's retired, she has this funky idea that she wants to feed 300 to 500 people at the Buddhist monastery, where after they do their 3-hour chanting meditation. So that's her idea. She just wants to feed them, and because she likes cooking, that's how she serves. So she started collecting these friends. They just come out of nowhere, and they come and they want to join in the cause. She has grocery stores that donate food and people that donate their time. And so she gets to do this, and she provides for these people for the last, I don't know how long, 5, 6 years. Mm-hmm. She's done that nearly every other weekend, and she's happy. She gets to do that. But I notice how, the world, the universe kind of comes together for her. So that's an awesome example to me. And when I moved here to the States, she says, well, I know you're going to be taken care of. So, and I thought, oh, that's nice. So it's a way that people think that the world is safe and that you're going to be taken care of. Okay. So anyone want to comment? Questions?
Going back to the congestion blend.
Yes.
So my son Tyson had bronchitis over the weekend, and
share that story. This is really good with emergency. Yes.
So I had a really scary experience. So Tyson woke up around like 12 o'clock on Saturday night, Sunday morning, and he was just like coughing so bad that he couldn't breathe at all. And like it sent me into a panic. And of course, as a mother, you need to be calm during those situations. So I gathered myself together and was trying to think of like what I was going to do. Am I going to call an ambulance? Am I going to rush him to the emergency room? And I'm like, I need to do something now. And so I was like, oils. So I ran to my oil box and I grabbed thyme and rosemary and my fractionated coconut oil, and I rubbed it on his chest and on the back of his back. And within 5 minutes, he was able to breathe and no longer in this coughing, gasping for breath battle. So it was just an amazing experience. I still took him to the hospital just to like see what was going on with his body, why this was happening. And they diagnosed him with bronchitis. But while we were at the hospital, they went ahead and gave him a breathing treatment. And I feel like that's honestly where what he has now, he has like a cough and a lot of congestion, and I almost feel like the chemicals that was in the breathing treatment caused him to have this after effect, because he was completely fine. And I was almost like, why did I even bring him to the hospital? Because these people probably think I'm crazy. He was like gasping for breath. This whole situation happened, and I took him to the hospital and he was fine. So like now I'm dealing with the aftermath of like him having a cold and this congestion and coughing all the time. And so I'm really going to try this Myrrh recipe and see how that helps to go ahead and like clear up his congestion that he has now. So, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I read that post, Desiree, and I was thinking, even if you do call the ambulance in between, what are you going to do?
Right?
So glad we have that as an option.
Yes.
Yeah. And so Peaches, you see that all the time, right? Hospital?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Especially around this time, you get a lot of congestion and stuff. But I made my own little recipe, my own little breed of mixing the oils like eucalyptus and peppermint and the other things in there, lime and stuff, and rubbing it on my chest whenever I feel like something's about to happen or I'm getting a sore throat. I throw on the On Guard. I just get very, very proactive, and I'm telling you, these oils work.
Mm-hmm.
Gone, in a day or two, it seemed like something's coming on, but it doesn't come on full-fledged because I'm proactive, and it just goes. It's like, bye, see ya.
That's wonderful. Oh, I feel for you, Desiree. So that was I was like cheering you on. That's
Thank you.
That's a success there. That's wonderful. So, yep, this is it. So you heard Peaches. This is the season where people come in with all that stuff. So you make sure that you share this blend with them and to
Yeah.
give them some relief. And she says it sure works. So fantastic. All right, so with the spiritual side, it's just allowing Mother Earth to take care of you, so you don't have to stress, you don't have to feel like you have to do it all on your own. When this happens, we get very overwhelmed, and we may have anxiety of some sort. We might feel discouraged, and you know, a lot of people give up and give in. So add Myrrh to whatever it is that you're using and help yourself just change and rewire the mind and think, you know, the universe, the world takes care of me. I'm safe. I'm nurtured in all the ways that I need to be. Okay, because it's just sometimes it's our perspective. And I noticed that as I changed, life gets easier. I think we'll never get to a point where, you know, nothing happens, nothing bad happens. We'll always be challenged, but you can manage those challenges better. That's why I posted that thing the other day. What was it? God give me the patience to, or what was the surrender?
Serenity.
To change, yeah, the serenity to let go of what I can't change, or I'm totally butchering it, but yeah.
Didn't it say at the end, and the oils to know the oils to use for it?
And know which oils to use in both situations. So it's that we will be challenged, but we'll have the wisdom to know to reach oils. I have some people that come up to me and say, I'd love to get into it, but wait until all these things die down, and then I'll come and find an oil that I can use. And I think to myself, this would be a great time to use it when you're stressed out and when you feel like you can't breathe. So here's something to help you manage this crisis that's happening in your life. So anyways, I'm really grateful for it.
I looked up the quote because I really liked it too. It says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, courage to change the things that I can, and wisdom to know what oil to use in both situations.
Yeah, thanks, Desiree. Yeah. So that's what we want to do. We want to just have some tools to use and manage, you know, when things happen in our lives, but at least we feel empowered, right?
Right.
That's fantastic.
And Jade, if I might add, I see that you have down here for fear or to use myrrh oil to cleanse the mind and soul of fear, distrust, and replace it with positive emotions and stuff. Well, I also think about the difficult times that we're having in the world with all the destruction of the hurricanes and the rumors of wars in countries. And I see a lot of people, they're just like glued to fixated on the TV and the politics and everything, and they're worried like, oh my gosh, you know, what's going on? I think this will help us a lot. People do have that fear and distrust. They don't know what's going to happen, the unknown and all the bad things that are happening, and all you see is negative news here and there, and it's just like, it's like people are so engulfed by it. I think this is something they could use.
Yeah, I agree. Fantastic. That's right. And sometimes we just have to tell them, switch off the TV, don't watch the news before bed.
Yeah,
might
definitely.
help the whole family. Yeah. So I shared oils with this lady, and you know, she joined and everything, and has such a strong energy of distrust. I offered her some aroma touch massage and some gifts and things. She took the gifts and everything, but she's like, she's just filled with distrust. And I look at her and I'm thinking, come, I'm offering free love and service here. But because she sees the world in that way, she doesn't believe that they're people, you know. And I'm like, I'm not going to get anything from this, but the pleasure of seeing you feel happy. But, you know, it's hard for people to trust when maybe they've wound themselves up so tightly and they've looked for all of this evidence that the world is unsafe. and untrustworthy. And they've collected all of that, put it in their files in their head, and now they've decided this is how the world is, right? So we have to start cleaning all of that junk out and looking at the world differently if that's happened to us. Yeah. So I really like Myrrh. I use it every day nearly, just as much as I use frankincense. Helps me sleep, and rub it all over my face. So kind of like Debbie Gordon, you know, this oil's good, this oil's good. So yeah, I have a whole face full of different oils. All right, guys, this is awesome. Well, we'll end the call here and we'll get ready for the next call.